So it's all for fluff for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hi, villains, and welcome to For the Love of Paul McGrath podcast. I'm absolutely delighted to come back again today for a podcast that's going to be a small bit of crack. It's going to be a podcast that's a small bit different, right? I'm not expecting Aston Villa to sign any of these four players, but there are four players I think that are will be available on free transfers. I think that are just too good to be available on free transfers. And I think definitely three of them, Aston Villa should be sniffing around for squad depth, and two of them, they should be sniffing around for more than squad depth, I think. Two of the players that we're going to speak about in a moment obviously do have some injury histories that we will talk about during the podcast as well. But yeah, it was an interesting piece. Wanted to scour down through the free agents that are there at the moment. Wanted to look at some names that haven't been mentioned in connection with Aston Villa at the moment, and just to see if we could find any areas that we may be able to get some market inefficiencies in at the moment. So the four players that I've selected today, you will find out about in one moment. But one is a left back, who plays for Stade Reims in France. One is a midfielder who plays for Bayern Munich. One is a centre half who plays for Wolfsburg, and the other one is a centre half / left back / central midfielder, nice utility player that plays for Dortmund. Let's have a little look at who they are now. So firstly, I'm going to chat to you guys about left back called Ghislaine Conan. No jokes, please. No jokes about the first name. Ghislaine Conan is a left back, left-footed Ivorian, 5'9". He's 26 years of age. When you look at his statistics, they don't jump off the page over the last 365 days, but this guy has a lot of talent. He's been linked with West Ham. He was linked with West Ham about 18 months ago. He was linked with Aston Villa when Dean Smith was here. We were linked with him tentatively previously. He is a bit of an all-action left back, but his statistics don't actually really show that. He's pretty good in a lot of areas, and remember, what we're looking for is somebody that will be able to come in and complement Luca Dean, maybe play second fiddle to Luca Dean. I'm not saying that we need to go out and get somebody like this, a 26-year-old. He's a free transfer. For me, he is the best left back free transfer on the market at this moment in time. And as I say, let's take a look at some of his statistics. So very steady, doesn't tackle an awful lot, tackles dribblers at a decent rate, but just doesn't get dribbled past. And for me, my fullbacks, I don't want them to be dribbled past at all. I don't want any of my back four to be dribbled past, and certainly don't want my left back or my right back to be dribbled past as well, because the second you get turned on your heels as a fullback, then you is in big trouble. We can see here that he blocks passes, and these blocks, there's something that Aston Villa players excel in at the moment, and he does that at a decent level. And also his interceptions per 90 are right up there in the 84th percentile. I haven't put him up against Luca Dean. I haven't put him up against maybe somebody like a Matty Targett who was with the club last season. The reason I haven't done that is because for all these players, some of them were coming off injuries, seasons where they've had some injuries. And I just didn't think it was fair, considering that these guys haven't been linked. But I just want to look at them for what they actually are. He's got 17 caps for the Ivory Coast, does Conan. Started off his career in the Ivory Coast, then got a move to Portugal with Vitória Guimarães, and played 45 times there, and he signed for Reims in 2018, and he's played 89 games for Reims, scoring 3 goals. As I said, he has got 17 caps for the Ivory Coast as well. Has had a small bit of injury issues, but at 26 years of age, nothing that he can't get over as well. As I said, he was linked with West Ham previously. I've looked at some tape for him, albeit I haven't looked extensively into an awful lot of tape for him. But from what I see from him, He's an accomplished passer of the ball. The statistics don't really bear it out there. He's not a metronomic passer of the ball. He's going to hold his left back position. He's not going to be somebody that we're going to just feed the ball to. So that in that instance here, it will be something that we would have to unleash him to do in the absence of a Luca Dean. But then again, I don't think we're going to be bringing in that many people unless somebody like a Quinton Merlin or a Sergio Sergio Gomez that we spoke about previously as well, but they are going to cost a lot of money. So on a free transfer, I think this guy is the upper echelon of what we can get in the attacking play. And as we can see there, his passing statistics aren't really bad. They're not bad, but I think that there is something in there that we could work with him, and he could come in a push and play a left back for Aston Villa Football Club if needed. Next person we are going to talk about is John Brooks. And we spoke about his defensive partner, actually, Maxence Lacroix, earlier on. We spoke about him. Villa were linked with him. John Brooks, American defender, 6'3.5". Once again, left-footed. I think that's important. I've got a funny feeling that we might bring in another left-footed centre half. The fact that Diego Carlos can play right or can play left, I think he is going to be earmarked for the right hand side. For me, he's not a replacement for Courtney House. I think Courtney House is gone, and I think somebody like John Brooks could come in and could pretty much battle for a starting position within that our back four at this moment in time. Very accomplished defender. Lots, as I said, he's got a ton of international experience. Does John Brooks? He is he's how am I going to put it with him? He's only leaving Wolfsburg because he fancies another challenge. And I've got a funny feeling that the Premier League has always been made for this guy. So he started off his career at Hertha Berlin, played 119 games for Hertha before moving to Wolfsburg in 2017, played 126 games for them since 2017. He's played in the Champions League with them. He's played for the United States. He was signed for 20 million back in 2017. Actually, in 2020, he was linked with Manchester United to come in and to shore it up. And I know that was 2020. It was to come in and be a squad option for Man United. But I think that there is definitely something in John Brooks if he was to come in. You look at his statistics there. They're very middle of the road in a lot of areas. Doesn't commit any fouls. Pretty good in the air. Intercepts the ball at a decent clip. But what really bounces off the page to me is how much better at passing the ball he is than I thought he was when I was watching him, and the statistics bear that out as well. So from a pass completion point of view, 85.3% does come in the middle of the road, but it's the progressive passes that he makes. He's very, very high progressive pass numbers, progressive pass distances. He's got a very good high pass rate, so he's able to pass the ball in the air. Comes in at a 68.2% long pass completion rate as well. And I just think all around for a fourth defender or a defender that can come in and that could challenge the status quo that we have at left centre half at the moment. I think that he would be an upgrade with the ball at his feet on somebody like Courtney House, and we all know how much I like Courtney House. But John Brooks for me is somebody that I think should be explored. Realistically, I don't think he's signing for Aston Villa. I don't think Aston Villa have any interest in somebody like John Brooks. But once again, market inefficiencies is what I'm looking for here. I'm looking for somebody who could come in, who could do a job and could pad out our defensive situation, because I think there is a bit of a gap between our centre half up and coming prospects and where we need people to be, specifically from an age point of view, to get into our team. And I don't think that we're done at centre half either yet. So that is John Brooks. As I say, really interesting name. You guys might remember him from World Cups of past, but a guy that has a lot of experience, played all his career in Europe, and enjoys the rough and tumble of football. And I think a Premier League team would do very well to sign him this season, because I think his skill set and the way that he's built and his robust nature will suit the Premier League. Even though he is 29 years of age, he is getting on there. He might want that sweet Premier League money. That could be something that he's looking at as well. Now we're going to move on to two guys that I really like, and I actually really think Aston Villa should be in for both of these two guys, and one of them in particular, two of them in particular, I would be banging down doors for both of these guys at the moment. First one we're going to talk about is Dan Axel Zagadou. First of all, anybody who's got Axel in his name, I don't want anybody to have PTSD from Axel Tuanzebe. Axel Tuanzebe was a really good footballer with us, but when he moved to Napoli, he didn't get a sniff. Now let's get our Axel back again. And Dan Axel Zagadou, he's French, a French player. He's 23 years of age. He's 6'5". Once again, he's left-footed. But what I want to bring people's attention to here is look at those high numbers from a passing point of view. This guy is a metronomic passer. He is really, really, really impressive with the ball at his feet. If we're going to be moving the way that we play, if we're going to be changing it to be that type of that type of play it out from the back type defense, this guy is somebody that we need to be strongly taking a look at. How he's going to be a free transfer, I don't know. He's been linked with teams like Hoffenheim. He's been linked with French teams. There's a couple of French teams as well. West Ham once again are being linked with him. But he is like just look at his numbers. His numbers speak for themselves. He wins tackles at a decent rate. As a defender, he's really good. Look at that dribble pass rate at 0.24. The amount of dribblers he tackles, he's right up there. Now he's 6'5". If I'm signing this guy, I'm seeing if he can cut it at left back. I know there aren't that many 6'5" left backs in the world. Dan Burn is probably one of them. He's even taller again. This guy is really good. He's really good on the ball. The one big thing with him again is, injuries. Injuries have been a killer for him. He's had quite a few injuries in his career. I'm just trying to bring it up here because I can't remember what they were. But I think he's done ACLs. Yeah, so he did his ACL in 1920. He tore it again then in 2021, and he had knee surgery in 2021. So he missed more or less the whole lot of the 2021 season. And since then, it's been a bit of an issue for him. So I'm trying to paint a picture here, guys. A centre half with bad knees. Maybe not bad knees, but a centre half that has a dodgy knee. Like, who loves a centre half that has a dodgy knee more than Aston Villa? No one in the world. We did it with Martin Laursen. We did it with the man who this podcast is named after, the guy up here. Let's do it again with Dan Axel Zagadou. Let's get him in there. Let's have a crack off him. I genuinely believe the club should be going out there and taking a chance on him. What's the worst that'll happen? What is the worst that'll happen with Dan Axel Zagadou? Yes, he's injured. Offer him a 2-3-year contract, whatever. I think that this is somebody that the club should sign. That's what I'm going to say. Will they sign him? Absolutely not. Snowball's chance in hell. Will they sign Dan Axel Zagadou? And if they do, I will claim it for myself. But I don't think that I'm going to be in any risk of doing any victory laps that this guy is going to sign. As I say, there is a couple of clubs sniffing around him, but injury history is a bit of a it's a bit of a problem with him. It was only back in February as well, whereby he had come off an injury. He tore a muscle in his thigh as well. So he's still suffering the effects of being out for more or less a year and a bit with a knee injury. A lot of people are probably screaming at the screen here now going, I always sign him on Football Manager. Yes, I always sign him on Football Manager as well. That's how I first got alerted to him, watching his game, watching his play. He is a really good player. Like this season just gone, he played 15 Bundesliga games. He played in the Champions League twice, and he played in the Europa League. He's over 1,000 minutes this season just gone. But he did have a couple of niggly injuries, and I think that we can rehabilitate him. He comes in and he doesn't need to play straight away. But this guy comes in, he could be the succession plan to a Tyrone Mings, or he could play on the bench. We could bring him in that left back position. He's not going to be the marauding left back. And don't get me wrong here, guys. He's a definite centre half. But look at those passing statistics. Maybe we could push him into a defensive midfielder position. Once again, I know there's people out there screaming at the screen going, we tried to do that with Axel Tuanzebe. It doesn't work. Let him play centre half. That's cool too. Let him play centre half if we need to. But what I'm saying here is succession planning to somebody like Tyrone Mings, to a Diego Carlos. They're not going to be here forever. And I know Carlos is just in the door, but Mings may not be here in 2 years' time. Somebody like a Dan Axel Zagadou, you bring him in, you bring him back up to speed over the course of the next year. And then we could be there with one of the steals of the transfer window to go along with our other French steal of the transfer window that everybody's talking about in Boubacar Kamara. So I think there should be a chance taken on somebody like Dan Axel Zagadou. And if I had a spare few pound left, at the end of the day, it's wages and it's signing bonus for this guy. There's no transfer fee involved. I would definitely be sniffing around and having a conversation to see, does he want to come to Aston Villa and test himself in the Premier League. And another person as well that has had a ton of injury issues is the next man that we're going to look at here. Where's my slide gone in here? Let me just bring up my... Oh, there it is. Next person is Corentin Tolisso. People will know him. Really, really big star with Lyon. Really big star with Bayern Munich. Big problem with him, once again, is injuries. Injuries have curtailed his last few seasons. Another guy who had an ACL injury. He ruptured his cruciate ligament back in 18-19. Missed pretty much the whole season. Then he tore some tendons in the side of his knee as well in 2021. But he's had a couple of knocks recently over the last year or so that have nothing major, but he missed a month with a calf problem, and he missed the bones of a month coming up to the end of the season as well with I think it was a torn muscle in his calf again. So another person that we could come in, like people are talking about, we need a number 8. We need another number 8 to come in. Look at those passing numbers. Look at those metronomic passing numbers. Look at the pressure success rate. I don't think we can have one or the other, I think, in midfield that we're going to sign. We're either going to sign another 8. Maybe Dougie moves on. I don't know. Maybe Dougie stays and plays in that defensive midfielder position. And maybe Marvelous Nakamba moves on. I don't know. But somebody like Corentin Tolisso, look at the passing statistics again. If you want somebody to be that metronome, that pivot in midfield, this guy also scores thunder belters from out the field as well. He's like, when he hits it, it stays in, and he can hit the ball. He can kick that ball as hard as anyone. Really promising player, but as I said, last 2 seasons have been kind of curtailed with niggly injuries. I wonder, could we get him in? Somebody that, once again, all the top teams in Europe have been looking at, have been sniffing around. Personally, I think he'll probably end up in Italy. He's like a guy who would end up with Juventus, and would play that nice languid style that Juventus play. But for me, if you want to bring in passing and you want to make that midfield, like this guy could be your Thiago in the middle of midfield. Granted, he mightn't play every game of the season, but we may not need him to play every game of the season. And from the point of view there is that we've got different types of players, and we would have different types of players in midfield. I think that definitely this guy and Dan Axel Zagadou are punts. You could take punts on them as well. Now, they could be expensive ones, because I don't expect this guy to come and to play for half nothing, because as I say, he's somebody that did have the world at his feet for a good period of time. So I think you would be paying some decent cash for him. But he is, like, in the 5 years he's been in Bayern Munich, he's only played 72 games, scored 11 goals. He played 116 games, scored 21 for Lyon before that as well. He's 28 caps for France. So this guy comes in, he would immediately be the best passer of the ball we have in the team. Immediately. And he could go into that more languid number 10 role should Buendia or should Philippe Coutinho be out. He can transcend those 2 roles as well. He loves a shot and shot on goal too. So Corentin Tolisso and Dan Axel Zagadou are 2 players that just have God-given talent. Injuries have curtailed them, and I wonder, do teams take a chance on that? I'd love to know if anybody out there does know, or if anybody knows of an agent, or if anybody knows of somebody that's involved with a director of football role. What is the view on teams taking a chance on these injured players? Because it doesn't seem to happen as much as it used to anymore. But as we know with Aston Villa, if we take a chance on an injured player, we've got a decent enough strike rate of getting at least 2 to 3 good seasons out of them. And remember, 27 years of age for Tolisso and 23 years of Dan Axel Zagadou, rehabilitation for them over the course of this year, maybe, and then get 2 good years out of them or 1 good year out of them. And who knows, you could have a really decent player that you might be able to talk to about re-upping their contract afterwards. So it would be an interesting strategy, a strategy I absolutely 100% don't expect Aston Villa to take, but two really, really talented players that are sitting there on the market. Somebody is going to take a chance on them. Somebody is absolutely going to take a chance on them. And let's just say we had a Quarantine Tolisso on our team and Morgan Sanson, who, congratulations to Morgan Sanson, got married recently. Got married, I think, over the weekend. Congratulations to you, but potentially he won't be on this team next year. I think by bringing in Quarantine Tolisso, it's an upgrade on Morgan Sanson. And maybe we get some money back and save on the wages that Sanson is in. Albeit it could be a bit of a gamble that this guy could backfire. But then again, Sanson didn't play too many games last season because he was injured as well. So, if you're playing the rough with the smooth with regards to this, I think it would be an overall upgrade on that particular player itself. With Zagadou, if he was to come in, he was to replace a Courtney House, and if he came in on the premise that, okay, we're going to rehabilitate you over the course of the next 6 or 8 months, we'll be looking towards the end of the season to reintegrate you within the team. We're going to maybe look at playing you defensive midfielder. We're going to maybe look at retraining you in different positions. Maybe the left back position is pipe dream. The more I think about it being 6'5", but his passing ability is too good. I'll bring his numbers back up there again. His passing ability is too good to have him in there at a centre half position. And maybe if we just wanted to pigeonhole him into the team and we were to try and play him in that defensive midfielder, if we played a double pivot with himself and Boubacar Kamara, it could be an interesting thing. But I think there could be a conversation there, and there could be convincing that could be done there by Aston Villa to get these two players and to get them in and maybe see what we could do with them. They could turn out to be monumental busts, but they could turn out to be absolute piece of gold that we get for less than market value at the moment. And I think Aston Villa should be searching for somebody that potentially could do that to pad out the squad, particularly in the defensive side of things at the moment, because I think the gap between our as I said, our centre halves, the Josh Feeneys of this world, Lamar Bogarts, the Svinkels of this world, I think the gap between those guys and the first team is the biggest gap between any group of our youth players and getting to the first team that we see within the overall structure, looking between the youths and the progression paths towards the first team. Yeah, so look, as I say, I hope this is a bit of fun for everyone. I hope everybody has a lot of comments on it. If anybody likes what they see from these guys, if anybody has any further information on them that they think that would be good to know, comment on them comment below. Also, give this a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. If somebody isn't following the podcast, let them know about us. They might want to know more. They might like our ramblings. And this is going to be the start of a scouting series that I'm going to do over the course of the next few days. Tomorrow we will be doing. We'll be looking at Guido Rodriguez. And then for every day this week, we'll be looking at a different player. So Guido Rodriguez will be coming up tomorrow. I really like him. I think he's brilliant. And he's a different type of player than the gentleman that I've mentioned here. And I hope you come back and you look for that. As always, if anything breaks, we will come on with a podcast to speak about it, to offer our opinions. But that's going to do it for today. Everybody, stay safe, stay healthy. And all that's left to say is up the Villa.